Welcome back to On the Workbench. Today we're going to be looking at the Toro Timemaster 30-inch wide area mower. For comparison here, I've got my older 21-inch Toro Super Recycler. This is the mower that I used before that was given to me when I lived in my last house from the previous homeowner. Both of these are electric start. I should start off on the old one here. It was electric start. The electric cables here came off. I got some age on it, and the electric start never worked for me, but it was a fantastic mower. And had a bag option, and you need to put a little plug in. The bag is currently off, and there's a little plug you to put in for the recycling option. Over here on the Toro, we also have a plug. I've got a bag on here. One of the things I liked about this in the wide area mower category, this is one of the only mowers that actually came with an actual bag that was built in and integrated into it. MTD Products makes one either under the Cup Cadet brand name or under the the Troy-Bilt brand name that has a side discharge only with a huge bag on the side. And so I like this, so I can take this bag, I can pop this off. Right now I actually just have the bag on there just for show. And you can see, if you look right back here, there's a mulching plug that's in the back there for mulching. If you want to use the bag, so I can take the bag off here for mowing purposes and set that aside. So what I've got here is the electric start version, and the electric start version has a keyed switch right here that then goes down to the engine, and then you can start it up there with just one twist of the key. Over here on the operator panel here, you've got a blue extra assist handle, or as they call it, a traction assist handle. And then we've got the blade lever here, and you notice this little blue switch right here. So one of the neat features with this here is you can actually start it up by using the key. The blade's not on. Press this down, and then that activates the blade. But if you want to stop the blade to pick up some tree limbs, you can just drop that down, and the way this little blue lever here locks into place, it's going to lock out the handle until you actually intentionally trip that lever to let it come back up. This does have rear wheel drive on the tires, and one of the things I like about these tires is these actually have a little bit of rubber to them. They're a solid one-piece non-inflatable tire, but it's not quite as plasticky as my old mower where the tires are just basically straight up plastic. There's definitely a little bit of rubber here for some traction while mowing. If side discharge is your thing, there's a side discharge chute here. On the other side, we've got the washout port. And one of the other things on my old mower, each wheel had to be adjusted individually into its slot here. So here, you just adjust axle by axle. So you can go with the traditional Toro A through F designation here for the front two wheels, and the same thing here for the rear set of wheels back here. Sorry, I got some grass back here in the way. And so that can go through there to make the adjustments. You only have to make that adjustment on one side. We've got the engine on top here, so it actually comes with a very large air filter. I've ran the mower now quite a few times, and if we open up the air filter compartment here to look at how the air filter is doing. I got this mower back in early June of this year, and there's definitely a little bit of grass in here. I probably need to clean this out, or maybe even replace it early, but I'm hoping to make it through this mowing season and buy a new one for the next mowing season. After buying this, I had to change my oil after I ran it about 3 times, or maybe it was twice, and the oil definitely came out very gunky and dirty, but that's not uncommon of any small engine. Whenever you get a brand new engine, you always want to make sure you change to that first oil change well ahead of schedule, just to get out any contamination from the engine whenever the engine was being built. And so as we go around the mower here, we've got this little handle here. One of the other neat features of this, see if I set the camera down right here, right, and show you this, is that if I press on the blue lever here, I can actually fold up the handle, or I can lock the mower handle upright here in roughly 90 degrees. Or if I want to, I can actually fold this all the way over, so I can have a very small footprint in my garage in the wintertime to take up very little space. That was something I found to be very attractive about this mower, is that I could fold up into a much smaller footprint. A lot of the other mowers in this category just didn't quite have that same compact features. Now to undo that, you've got to move that blue handle. And then that goes right back down. So if you're looking back here, you'll notice that this is the the lawn striping kit that's usually meant for the 21 to 22 inch mowers. I was trying to set this up here on this mower. One of the things, like the bracket here actually doesn't work too bad, except for the fact that the little clips on either side of the setup here, it'll clip on one side but not the other. You can get the setup here with the bars and go vertical, have it clear with the bag on as you saw before with no problem. With a little bit of adaptation, you could drill out the other hole here on the other side and then drop in a little bolt for the cheaper lawn striper kit. The lawn striper kit that's supposed to go with this here is about $200, which I think is rather excessive. And so you can add that in there for the lawn striping, because as we all know, if we want a beautiful lawn, striping is an important part of it. On top here, we also have the gas tank here. This holds about 1/3 of a gallon. Right now, I am almost empty. You can see maybe there's a little bit there at the bottom. Not much. You got the oil on top. It's a 4-cycle engine, so the oil and gas are separate. There's no mixing of it. A couple of the things I really like about the mower is it definitely cuts a nice area and a nice path. And over here on the side, the mower actually overhangs the edge of the wheel. So I've had to adjust myself a couple times when I'm making another pass that I can accommodate this extra width. Or if I'm going around an object, I can use that to my benefit, which actually works out nice once you get used to it. My older mower, look over here, the edge was just right about the edge of the wheel line, but the blade kind of came in a little bit inside of it. So it's harder to mow around anything really tight, whereas here I can mow around things pretty tightly, which is actually really nice. So you'll take advantage of that 30-inch. So under the mower, there's 2 blades. But one of the other things I think is interesting about just if you talk about the engine by itself, my experience so far has been that the way that the transmission is set up, I think it actually probably mows too fast. I'd rather mow a little bit slower and get a higher quality cut, and that the torque could be a little bit higher, so I'd rather them adjust the gear ratio to slow down the upper end of that and to bring out some more torque for cutting through heavier grass, or grass that's slightly damp. I know you shouldn't cut damp grass, but every now and then you just have to do it. And the other problem I have is I've got about 1/3 of an acre to mow, and on a good day I can mow with exactly 1 tank. But I really wish instead of 1/3 of a gallon, this would have been about a 1/2 gallon, or maybe even just slightly more. 2/3 of a gallon would be nice, or if there was some sort of way I could buy an accessory to expand the gas tank, because I find myself having to strategically stop and plan when I'm going to come back to the garage and get another top off my gas tank. So as all that goes, I'm going to add some gas here. I'll get out my sound meter and we'll start it up, and you can hear how loud the mower is. Okay, so I've got a sound meter attached, or just sitting on the deck of the mower here, so I'm going to start it up and you can see the readout of what the reading is in decibels. Just for some background, when I'm talking here it's about 70 decibels or so. There's some ambient background noise of insects and just some road traffic. I'll start it up and you can see how loud the mower is. So you can see just how easy it was to start the mower just by turning the key here. And I'll start it up one more time here for you. And then back off. And engage with the blade. Okay, so let's talk about one more thing here on the drive. One of the things with this mower is the transmission is a variable speed with this personal pace, and the more you push this down, the faster it's going to go. You can use a blue handle to help you get all the way down to get maximum speed, which again I think is perhaps too fast. But the other little thing that you can do with it is if you have the blade off, you can just drive it back to the garage. One of the things that frustrates me is when it's off like this, I can't use this handle here to drive it. I have to use the metal handlebar back here, which is a little precarious about trying to get a handle in here to push it, because I can't push it here on the natural handle that I would want to use to be able to drive it, because if I push it, you can see here, it's still in gear. There is no neutral when the thing's off. With the transmission there, the way you have neutral is you push it and leave this bar alone, or pull that back up. In just a few moments, I'll let you see the cut quality on the mower. And as you saw on there, when running, it was a little over 100 decibels. So do with that what you need for wearing proper hearing protection and eye protection when you're mowing. And we will get you started here, and I'll show you a few passes so you can see the cut quality. For your reference here, I'm cutting here on setting C. Okay, let's take a look at the cut quality here. I mowed a couple passes along the outside edge of the yard here. On the left is the unmowed yard. On the right is the cut from the mower. You know, with a little more perspective here, maybe you can see it a little bit better. Got some thicker grass back here. Overall, I'm very pleased with it. Don't mind some of the weeds in my yard. I need to spray. Let's come up over here a little bit closer to the street. We got some more thick grass. So I was mowing on the side of a hill. We have a slight incline plane here, and you can see where it was mowed and where it wasn't mowed. And the quality of the cut here, even on an incline, I think is still pretty good. And if we get right down into it here, you can see the uncut grass on the right, cut grass on the left, as this goes all the way down into that beautiful Illinois sunset. And we can see the grass here. And so now it's time for me to mow my way into the sunset tonight. As you can see, I still got quite a bit more yard left to mow. And just to wrap up this video here as I keep mowing, a couple of things here. Would I recommend this mower? Yes, for the price tag. I think it's a little bit high. And I wish more companies would innovate in this wider area space. Then the only players here being basically Toro, Troy-Bilt, and Exmark. The Exmark one is very similar to this Toro Timemaster. With a few small changes, I think Toro could have a really great mower in their hands. The other thing I'd recommend is upping the tire size to make the ride a little bit smoother on rougher terrain. Other than that, the other thing here that I think I've had a few questions about from people in real life has been, would I get the electric start one? It's an extra $100 compared to that. If you're already spending $1,000 on a mower, by all means, it's absolutely worth the extra $100 for the electric start. I really wouldn't hesitate to get that. One of the big box stores that's colored orange that stocks these only makes the electric start available as an online-only special order. If you find your local specialty mower store, they might even have it in stock. If you can buy local, by all means. When I bought this one from a local specialty store, it was the same price as the big orange box store, and I helped support some local businesses, so that was great. I hope you found this useful, and have a great day. Bye.